Popovich was constantly changing and won with three different styles of basketball. He's just like exponentially superior in basketball IQ. Exponentially. Like it's not even close by a little bit.
I know. I mean, championship rings equals basketball IQ.
Okay. He had Michael Jordan and then Kobe Bryant. Who did he win without those two guys? When did he win without either one of those two guys?
But when did Pop win without Tim Duncan or David Robinson? Like he always,
Duncan is not Kobe or Jordan.
He's the greatest power forward of all time. What are you talking about? Most people got Tim Duncan rated ahead of Kobe.
If Popovich had Kobe and Jordan, he would have way more rings.
But he didn't. He didn't.
Exactly. He did a lot more with a lot less.
That's like
no, I wouldn't say he had a lot less. Nah.
He did
as a collective.
Come on.
As a collective, from a 1 to 15, from a 1 to 15 spot on the roster, collectively, the Spurs have always. I think they've always been collectively better than the Lakers. It's just that the Lakers always had those two guys, the Shaq and Kobe, that dynamic duo that they couldn't really get past. But they always had a great team. They always had great players on the bench. Whether it was the Bruce Bowens, the Steven Jacksons, the guys that came through there, the Avery Johnsons, the guys that came through San Antonio aren't no slouches.
He rolled his sleeves up. It's on.
The players in San Antonio were able to have more shine because they played for Popovich versus them making Popovich look better. So they were able to play better than they actually were because they were able to play for Popovich.
The same thing can be said for Phil. The same thing can be said for Phil Jackson.
What you got to say, Eric?
I don't think so.
I mean, hey, anybody that can go anywhere and can three-peat anywhere you go, I don't care what kind of talent you got. That's an accomplishment alone. It's hard enough to get to the finals. You know, it's hard enough to win anyway, and let alone get to the finals and three-peat 3 times with 2 different teams. It doesn't matter what kind of talent you got around you. You got to be a heck of a coach to do something like that, man.
And to be able to manage all of those egos, all of those, the top tier.
Yeah, great job with Shaq and Kobe.
Egos. I mean,
Shaq and Kobe brought him championships. Look what he did.
I mean, he was able to hold.
Repeat what you just said for me one time.
This under control.
GK, drama aside, no matter what drama they had while they played for him, they still brought him championships.
Wait, say that again. One more time. Say that again. Listen to what you're saying.
They helped each other.
They all credit him.
They helped each other.
They all credit Bill.
Yeah.
Phil, they named him as the Zen Master.
Phil can't play the game. He's coaching the game.
Exactly.
There's only one player coach. There's only one player coach.
Putting guys in the best positions, and he just knows matchups. I mean, it's just year after year that he was coaching. I mean, he always seemed to outcoach every single player. I mean, granted, there was some times where Pop might have outcoached him in some matchups, but for the most part, Phil Jackson owned Popovich throughout their careers.
True.
Whether it's with the Bulls or whether it's with you feel me? Whether it's with the Lakers.
Yeah.
About the Knicks.
Yeah, what about the Knicks?
We're gonna act like that.
No matter what coach goes to
we ain't gonna act like that don't exist. He stopped. Frank was like,
he didn't even make the playoffs.
Give him that type of credit.
Yeah,
the Knicks, no matter who you put in the front office and at a coach, and the Knicks are going to be a dumpster fire no matter what.
Listen, anybody. Do you know how many teams have tried to play the triangle and it just doesn't work? I wonder why. Because they don't have Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan to run it.
Yeah, but they worked for the eras that they were in.
Right.
No, they only worked when you had like 2 of the best players of all time.
But they still worked, and you still got championships out of them.
Oh my God!
How did them things?
But what's the common denominator?
It's
not the triangle; it's the fact that there were the best 2 of all time.
But you can also say that about Pop's offense too, because Pop's offense got dated too as well when he was in the league.
Pop changed his offense 4 times.
He had to change it because he couldn't. When?
That's what I'm saying. The point of their offense.
I do agree with GK there. I didn't think Pop didn't have to alter his offense to try to fit the leagues.
Yeah, but when you constantly have to adapt, and it's not working, and championships aren't coming out, then you're out of the times.
But he did win championships over the course of that time.
How many versus Phil though?
That's the point.
How many versus Phil?
Exactly.
Then he
Okay,
went
how
five
does
in a
That's
decade,
like
right?
saying
You won 5 in 10
LeBron's
years,
better
right?
than Jordan. How many champs does LeBron have versus Jordan? You're trying to compare apples to oranges. How many does Phil have?
Just look at the
How
common
many does Phil have?
denominators.
How many does Phil have?
How many does Phil have without Kobe or
How
Jordan?
no? How many does Phil have?
He hasn't.
How many does but CGK, I don't like that because how many does Pop have without Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker?
Exactly.
But
I was on your side, GK, but that's like.
Okay, my thing is, if Phil never had those two guys, he probably never would have coached any rings.
And if Pop never had those guys, he wouldn't have won championships either.
Thank you. If he doesn't have Tim Duncan, you think he wins?
Yeah.
You think he still wins those rings?
I think he wins regardless of
Oh,
Tim
come
Duncan.
on.